All right, good morning, everyone, once again. Welcome to today's class of front-end development beginner. Today's class, we're going to be touching Bootstrap Masonry and the Swiper.js. So last class, previous classes, we've been talking about web development in general, then taking ourselves through the process of front-end development, from HTML, CSS, libraries, frameworks, external resources, and all of that, how to use Google Fonts, Font Awesome, AOS. Last week we talked about AOS. That's also a library that you can use to animate some content on your page. So there are a lot of libraries that we are going to be using moving forward. We're going to be using more of library moving forward. So that's why, like I said earlier from last class, I said you don't have to be stingy. You shouldn't even be stingy using data. You have to be ready to go on a lot of data as a front-end developer, as a programmer, or as a web developer. Understand? As a techie, yeah, you have to be ready to go on a lot of data. So you shouldn't be stingy. So you have to stay connected every time in order to be able to access your library. Since we are not downloading most of this library, we are using the CDN, which I say is it's actually the CDN, the link that you use in connecting to this library. Understand? CDN is content delivery network. Yeah, it is used to deliver the library content to your own VS Code. So, and you can't have access to all of these things if you're not connected. So last week we used Bootstrap, which is a framework, a CSS framework that allows and enables developers to develop faster, because they have some pre-built components, pre-built styling that is made available already for us. All we have to do is to get the CDN, connect it to our own VS Code, or link it to our own VS Code, and then we'll start calling their classes. And then we're going to see the difference. And then funny enough, importantly is that Bootstrap is actually very helpful because it actually provides mobile responsiveness. It provides responsiveness in general. You understand? Instead of you trying to say, okay, after writing my code for laptop screen, now I have to call media query and start styling for mobile, start styling for tablet, and start styling for different screen, just like Topic said. But then with the help of Bootstrap, you don't need to do all of those things. You don't need to create a different style sheet. You just have to link your Bootstrap while inside your HTML, start calling classes from Bootstrap, and then you have your website looking perfectly nice, responsive, and best practice also. You understand? Because the fact that they are a framework, they'll actually use best practice to actually to do most of their classes. And at the same time, for code readability, if you see an element in your HTML, you see all of the classes that have been passed to the element. So you get to understand, okay, I think this is what this one is doing, this one is doing, this is what this one is doing. That makes it very readable and a very quick delivery. A client approaches you, hey, I need a website within 1 week. It's just a single page actually. So because it's not really feasible to complete the website in a week. So even if it's a static page, it's not really feasible, but there are a lot of things you need to consider. But then, okay, a client approaches you. I have a one-page website I want you to develop for me within a week. How fast can you do that? How soon can you do that? If you say, okay, I want to use my HTML, it's going to take a while for you to complete it. So instead of that, we use Bootstrap to be able to deliver this job as soon as possible. So someone asked a question last week about saying, are we not cheating? Is it more like you're cheating or trying not to know what we are doing? We don't want to stress ourselves. Yes, we are cheating. It's called cheating. But then we don't just jump into Bootstrap. We don't just say, okay, from the first class we start talking about Bootstrap, how to use Bootstrap. No, we decided to introduce ourselves to HTML. If you remember, not just CSS, also we decided to introduce ourselves to tags, to elements, to classes, to ID, to inline styling, right? And then internal styling inside the HTML, and then an external styling. So those are and I'm very sure if any one of us is being asked to okay, I give you this project. I don't want to use any framework. I don't want you to use any library. I want to use just vanilla HTML, just HTML and CSS. I'm very sure we can actually do all of this. So having done that and having know how to do all of these things, how do we make it better? How do we make it easier for ourselves? Web development, programming, or anything development is all about how to make this thing easy for us. That's why library comes about. That's what brought about library, frameworks, and all of that. Even you yourself, while writing your code, let's say I don't want to use any library or framework, you have to consider how to make your code easy, how to make development easy for yourself, how to not repeat yourself. Like remember, there's a class we talked about DRY, to not repeat yourself, how to instead of using different um, styling for different, instead of using same styling for different sections, right? And then okay, let's say I have the same styling that I have for my main. I have the same styling for my section, get in touch, and I have the same thing for my footer. Instead of me using different styling for all of these things, writing, calling different class and all, I can just call a global class, or let's say a generic class that I can pass to all of these sections, and then I'll get what I want. So with that, I don't have to repeat myself, styling again and styling again and styling again. All I have to do is just call the class and pass it to the element. So that's just the idea of development in general. Look for a way to make all of these things easy. By the time you start writing JavaScript, you write a code first. The first thing, even if the code is working, yeah, the code is working very fine. Your mentor or your supervisor, the first thing is going to tell you is go and make your code better. Look for a way to make it easier for us to read and then for yourself also, so that you don't have to write the same code. If you want to use it for something else later in the future, you don't have to write this code anymore. So look for a way to make it easier and repeatable, and reusable, sorry, not just repeatable, reusable. So that's the whole idea of framework, library, and all of that. So today, we're going to be jumping into Bootstrap Masonry and then Swiper.js. Masonry is just a library provided by Bootstrap that provides cards arrangement, like in stacks. It actually provide cards arrangement in stacks. Why Swiper? I'll show you that. I'll show you how that works. Also, Swiper.js is a library that provides slider, carousel. So it helps with carousel. Okay, you don't have to say you have some pages, you have items on the page, and then you need to swipe. Maybe when the user click to the right or to the left, you want to swipe across the page, and then you want to have a pagination or a navigation or all of that. So we use Swiper.js for that. So today we're going to be teaching ourselves how to go about those two. But before I move forward, if you have any question, please raise your hand. If you have any question, just raise your hand and I will attend to it. But then if you don't, let's go straight to writing our codes. We are not more interested in all of this talk. We want to write codes. So firstly, let's see okay, this is what we had last week. All right, so let me reduce this. So we're going to go to the Bootstrap. Yeah, this is the design we were following from last week. So we're able to fix the hero header, the hero, and then we're able to fix the cards, which is also placed on the hero. So today we are supposed to go to this one, but I won't be doing this. I will leave this for us to do. I would like to touch the important part of the page. Instead of, this is very simple, it's just the use of P, and then if you're using Bootstrap, you have to use column here. Understand? You have to use, although let's just see if I can actually fix this one for us, and then we do some, I don't want to waste much time in some simple stuff. Yeah, we will focus more on this slider, how to make the slider work on our page, and also this part of the page. This is what we call masonry, right? Because you see the images are actually arranged in a very nice and accurate manner. The larger one is taking the larger size, while the medium and then the small just arranged according to their size. So, and it's going to look really nice looking at it, instead of us having a scattered arrangement of cards. So that's just how masonry works. And what you need to do is just create your cards, arrange it using a grid, and then call a card class, a masonry class, and then you have all of this. So let's get to about us first. Let's see what we can do about us. Am I able to believe you guys can get me? Please, if you can, just I appreciate if I can see hands up. So I'll be sure if you guys can hear me clearly. All right, Augustine, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so we were able to achieve this. Thank you, Jason. We were able to achieve this last week, so we move straight to about us. And this one, someone met me last week and was asking me on how to go about the counter. If you guys notice, there's a counter here. So the counter, yes, we can do it, but we can't do it now because it requires a lot of JavaScript. It requires a node to, which I'm not interested in introducing to us right now. So for now, let's just have the static number like that. Let's just have it like that. We don't need a counter for now. Let's just design this thing we've done before from our free switches, or just the same thing. Forget about the counter for now. Let me refresh so we can see the counter again. The counter requires a lot of JavaScript. So this is the counter. Yeah, we can actually do it. So it's not like we can't do it, but it requires the JavaScript function. We will not be talking about now until maybe later when we get JavaScript. All right, so here we are going to create a card. We're going to create a section, yeah, from here to here. Right now, we are not giving any height. We don't want to use height. In our last task, we gave height, which led to us having some issue when we are trying to do our mobile screen. So, but it is best. It is not even a good practice to use height when you are designing or writing code for pages or for sections. So the only thing you can do, let the content take the height. And then maybe if you need space up and space down, give it padding up and padding down. So that's it. Let the content take the height. So with that, when we are styling for mobile, when we are doing a responsive, it's going to get very easier because the content is already taking its height by itself. So we don't need to like say, okay, minimum height or maximum height or anything. So first thing first, like we did last week, please, I want this class to be very interactive. So, well, remain mute so you don't cause too much of this. But feel free to say anything. Feel free to just unmute yourself and say something. And when you're done saying what you want to say, hit yourself again so we don't have a rowdy class. So I'm going to be asking questions on how we can actually fix some stuff. So I want us to respond promptly. Okay, so first thing first, let's target. We already have our main. So after the main, let's create another one. Let's call it about us. About us. And then under it, we use a section, right? So inside the section, you're going to have a row. Sorry, we're going to have H1 and then P. That's the first thing we need to have. So we say H1. What's the H1? About us. About us. And then under it, you're going to have a P tag. And then inside it, you're going to have, let me just copy this. Okay, so about us is taking, remember last week we had to make some of the image and some of the color a component so that we can reuse them. We made some of the color a global color so that we can actually use them anytime. You can't get this color from Bootstrap, all right? Because Bootstrap provides some just basic color, understand? So then if you could remember this, I think this is the secondary color. This was our primary, the lighter blue, while this deeper one is the secondary. We are going to go to our styling and then look for the color. This is secondary text color. So that's what we're going to call as a class inside our H1 now. So we say class secondary text color, right? And then we have to centralize it, understand? So since this one is centralized, this one is centralized, all of this is also centralized. We can just target the section, okay, and then give it a text center class. So we say text center. I believe that's center for Bootstrap. So here we have ID, so we call it about us page like this. Okay, so this text center is going to centralize everything inside the section. It's going to work for everything inside the section. Everything is going to centralize. So now we have text, and then we are going to increase the size. Let's see if that H1 will work fine first. While this is a gray, this is secondary. That's provided by Bootstrap, which is text secondary, if I'm not wrong. Now let's see what we have. Okay. All right, this is what we have. It's not really bad. At least we have the about us, and then we have the text secondary working fine. So we need gap top and bottom of the section. This section, we need gap here, and we need gap here. That means we need padding top and padding bottom. We can actually give it padding P5, PY5. That means padding top and bottom should be 5. That means we're targeting the section PY5. Remember, 5 is actually the highest that Bootstrap provides. So let's see what we have now. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have. This is kind of like too small still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap everything inside another card, inside another div, and then still pass another PY inside that one. Since you can see this is too small, all right, and I don't want to use my stand. I want to still use the padding. So I will wrap this one inside another div, and then give that div also a padding. So how do I do that? Copy this, then say dot py5. That's just normal class. That's just a shortcut in case we are confused. So div, I created a div, I passed py5. Let me show you guys that again. I don't know if you know that already. I need a class text center, or okay, I need a class that will take py5. Okay, and I want it to be a div. I don't want to like write div first and then class and then do my py or whatever. You understand? So I want to just, there's a shortcut that you can use to just create a div and a class at the same time. So you can say p dot, this is class. If you use hash, that means you want an ID, all right? But then dot is for class, dot py5. You can actually add some other thing, right? Like this, to add more classes to whatever it is that you want to use. But for now, I'm going to be going with just py5. So if I click it, you can see I have my div and I have my class and I have the py5 straight inside the div. So very easy. Now let's go back to where we were. So we do the same thing here, and then we pack everything like this inside the div. Now I'm passing another py5 to this div. Now let's see what we have now. Okay, I think this is okay. This size and this one from what we have is kind of okay. If it's not too much safe, so let's just reduce it. Let me give this one 3, since it's seeming like it's too much. All right, so we are good to go. Okay, so having done that, now let's focus on this one. Now this is a card, like, you know, when we are dealing with normal HTML and CSS, we are going to put this one in a div and then put that parent, give the parent a display of flex so that this can be by the left and this can be by the right. We can also use flex using Bootstrap, and at the same time, we can use grid using Bootstrap. So I will advise that we use grid, since we know how to use flex very well. So now let's try as much as possible for grid so we can get familiar with the use of grid. So using grid works with the row. We use row and column for what we did last week for this part. So what you need to do, create a div and then pass the row to it. That row means, okay, guy, anything inside, I want it to be on a row. Anything that will be inside, I want it to be on a row. So after doing that, we now call column also. It is that column that will now take the number of size or the amount of size or the width of it of itself. So let's try that. Since we have 1 year and 1 year 2, the first thing we need to do after this remember it has to be inside that py3. Okay, so after this, we now say dot, let me just say dot, what should I call it? About us content. About us content. Okay, this doesn't really mean anything, Sha. It just means trying to tag the div so that I can know what it's all about. So I'll now pass row here. So this row is a bootstrap row that actually specifies that, okay, it's more like a flex, that anything inside of this should be on a row. Okay, and after that, we now say dot column. Now this is the first column. So, but don't forget, we have to be responsive. We have to be responsive. So column, naturally column takes column 6 by default. Takes column 6 by default. Because column bootstrap is mobile first. And column 6 by default means take the entire screen. Again. So, but sorry, I think column 6, column 12 by default. That takes the entire screen. But in the case where you want to divide your screen, that's where you need to pass column 6 and column 6. You get. But in this case, I don't think our mobile should actually have something like this. I think our mobile should just take 12. This should contain the entire screen, and then this should come down and contain the entire screen. That means each of these should take 12, 12. 12 is the entire screen, 6 is the half, 4 is the quarter. So this should take 12 and this should take 12. On the mobile, while on large, should take 6, 6, which is what we're going to do now. So on mobile, by default, I said it's 12. So we don't need to call mobile anymore. What we need to call is the column MD6. MD and large. You know, remember I said if you want to target a large screen, it's good to start from the minimum. Your responsiveness start from the minimum, and MD is the minimum. Minimum MD is like a tablet, starting from the tablet. Tablets can also take the same thing as the desktop in some cases. So we are using the minimum. Although we can still call it again column large 6 if you want. In some cases, maybe our tablet screen is small and we don't want it to take the entire screen. So we can say column MD4 and then column large 6. By default, column is always, column small is always what? 4. So we don't need to put that one in. All right. Well, let's just stay on 1. Okay. So here we have column 6. Then I'll create another one, column 6 also. So this and this will now share the screen. They'll take both left and then right. So I'm coming. I'm just trying to check something. Okay, so now inside the column, after deciding our column now, we now want to choose what are the contents inside this column. That's where the card comes in. Inside each column, we can have a card, right? And that card will now take our content itself. So we say dot card, right? So now let's check our card. Now this is the first text. Our card should take P number 1 and then a list item number 2. Should take P number 1 and then a list item number 2. So let's do that. So we have P. Let me copy this and paste it there. Okay, so paste it. And then let's save. So under that, we're going to have a list item. Okay, list item. But we have not done anything list item before on Bootstrap. So we have to like check how does Bootstrap provide its own list item. So that's what we are going to check now, so that we can actually achieve this thing. Although this one is just a normal Bootstrap icon, which we are going to still add to this. So I may not be able to just do all of those things now because I want us to do it ourselves. But we are going to focus on how to do this and then jump straight to the swiper. So let's check the list item on Bootstrap. Let's see how they provide their own Bootstrap. So where is it? On page. Let me look for it again. Get Bootstrap. Okay, so let's lists. Let's look for list if it's going to be there. Okay, see list group here. Okay, so we have list group, that's the UL, and then we have that's list group item. This is the active. Okay, I don't really need all of these ones. What I need is just a simple list. I don't need all of this border. I don't need the border. All right, let's try this first and see how it works. Let's just copy this, then paste it here. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's go back and see what we are now. Okay, so this is what we are. This is not what we want actually, because I don't like this. First thing, let me target this one and give border 0. Save. Okay, so now let's see if we can target the list item and give it border 0. Also, if you're going to see, you're going to have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Border 0. Save. Let's see what we have. Okay, I think that's better. Now, what we need to do is to change the items, change the content inside each of the items. So let's copy this. But remember, this is also okay. Let me just do one. This is a span. You can use a span for this and this. Let's try it first. The first item, an item. So now I don't want this to just be a single item. I want it to take 2 items, which is this and this. All right. So we are going to use a span. Let's use a span for that. And then we are going to place our icon inside this span. And then we have another span, and then place the text that we copied inside it. All right. So first, let's go and look for the icon. Let's look for the icon from Bootstrap. Open this. The icon should be a check icon, something like that. Check icon. Okay, yeah, here it is. I think it's this one. Check all. So I'll copy this like this. We've done all of this last week, so we don't need to waste much of our time on that anymore. All right, so let me make this thing a little bit bigger. That person that used to say she increase the size is not here. Okay. All right. So now I've been able to add the icon, BI check true off, and then the text. So now let's see what we have after saving. See what we have now. Okay, fine. See what we have. Okay, you know, like I don't know if you guys can remember from the first class or the second class that we talked about element and tags. We talked about span, which has a display of inline by default. Span has a display of inline by default. So it allows another content to stay beside it. If you use H1, it's not going to allow anything to stay beside it until you pass a flex. But by default, H1 will give you take the whole width of a row. But we don't want that. We want this icon to allow this one to also stay beside it. And we don't want to start saying flex, item, and all these things. So that's just a long way. So instead of that, we just use span, paste the icon inside the span, and then span again, and then paste the content inside the span. So, and then for this will now give us this display that we have currently. So we can also change the color of that. Let's see the color that they use here. This color is like the primary, so our primary text color. But then, yeah, let's see. Here we have just together with the class, we have primary text color. All right. Now let's save. See what we have. Okay, so we have it. But I'm seeing that there's a little bit space. There's a little bit of space between the icon and then the text. So how can we do that? Let's see if we have margin end. No, margin end. Let's add like 4. Let's see if it's going to work. Let's see. That will be too much actually, but let's see. Okay, it works, but then it's too much. So let's use margin 2 instead. Save it. See what we have. Okay, that's better. So having done that, now we want to do the same thing for the second, third, and then the other items. So what I'll do is this, copy this, or first thing first, let me replace this one. Copy this and replace the second and the third. Second and third. All right, I don't think I need this one since it's just 3. So let's just go. We don't have to. Okay, let's copy it. Yeah. So will not come and arrest us that we're using different content from what they used. Okay, so we copy the last one. Even if the last one is the same thing as the first one. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. So now let's save and see what we have now. Okay, so this is what we have. Now you can see the behavior of this thing is looking really well because of the text center that we passed. Now we pass to the parent. We pass text center to their parents. That's why all of these things are now being centralized. But that means it's not nice for us to pass a set text center to the parents. Instead, let's just target these 2 only, and then we don't want text center for this one. So let's go back up and remove the text center. Remove it from here. Cut it out, and then target the about us itself and the P itself. Now let's save it and see what we have now. Okay, I think this is better. This is cool. Now let's look for a way to add the second. We are going to still arrange it, just don't worry. Let's arrange the second item here, the second column after doing the first one. So what's the second one? This is the second one. So let me just copy this. This is a normal P tag, and then this is a button tag. So let's target the second one. This is the second column, P, drop it here, save it, and then our P tag, sorry, our second button, we take button, and then what's inside? Learn more. Learn more. More. Don't forget, you have to use Bootstrap button, which we take BTN, right? And then it's going to take what? When you over on it, it's giving us the BT primary. Sorry, yeah, button primary. But naturally, it's giving us what? Border primary. So let's do that. Let's give outline. Let me see what we have here. Okay, we have where is the button one? Secondary button column. Where is the primary button? Okay, primary button. So primary button column. So that's what we're going to use also. Let's use primary button, primary BTN column. Right, save it, and then let's see what we have now. Okay, so that's okay. All right, what we need to do now is to change the text color to also change the text color. So text, primary text color, save it. Now when we over on this thing, we want to change the behavior. When you over on it, you want the behavior to change. That means we want to have a background color of primary. So we cannot do that using this one. We want to do it using our styling. So we can just say, let's just call what do we call it? About us button. About button. That's about button. Save it. Go back to your style. And then come down, say about. Let's just say about here. Dot about btn. When you over on it, all right? When you over on it, so what do you want to happen? So we say we want it to change color, background color. We now go back up and copy this background. Okay, I think this is it. But it should be the primary. Let me copy the primary, which is this. Copy it and replace this. All right. Now let's save, and then let's see what we have. Okay. Let's see what we have now. All right. I think that's better. But the text is not showing, so we have to target the text also. So let's do it this way. About us button over. Okay, that would be color. When you over, I want the color of the text to change to white. Save. And then let's see. Why is it not changing to white? I think I have to pass important. Important. Let's see what we have now. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right, so having done that, what is next is for us to give margin up and bottom, give a little bit margin top, and then we need our container. We need our container, right? We need our container. I think we can even pass a single container. Okay, we can't. We can. So we need our container. Let's go to index and then target the section that we just created. Inside the class, we pass. What do we pass? Let me check again. I think we have a background of white and then we have a container. So since our initial background is white, so we don't need to create another class. Let's just say, let's give this guy bg white since the background is white, and then this one container. What was the container that we used earlier? Let's check. Did we use any container? Container small. All right. Container small. Okay. All right. I think we are good to go. We are good to go. Let's check the design. We may have to change. We may have to like change the color. This color doesn't really look blackish, so we have to change the color. So let's see how we can do those ones ourselves. And then this one you can increase. You have to like increase the padding left and right. Let's just do that as soon as possible. Where is the button? So I want to add a padding. PX3. PX3. That's too small. PS5. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's too big, but I think I don't have enough time. All right, that's that about the buttons. Now let's go straight to the other one that we were supposed to talk about today. I don't really want to meet. Now we understand that okay, this is actually giving us a 6. This is taking 6. Why this is taking 6? So if we take the responsiveness now, let me copy this and then open another page. Now let's open this on mobile. Although I don't think I consider responsiveness on this. But let's just see it mobile. You know why that's not okay. Okay, let's use inspect. All right. So I did not, like I said, I did not consider our responsiveness on this card. So that's why it's giving us like this. So the one that we consider responsiveness, this is it. As you can see now, it's putting this one on top while putting this one below. So that's just how it's supposed to be. This is actually responsive. All we have to do is just say maybe this one we have for mobile, maybe this one we have shadow, while this one we also have shadow. So we can see the difference between this card and this card. So let's see how we can actually do that. Let's see if shadow MD, shadow, just shadow straight. Then What again? Where is the other one? Shadow. All right, save. Let's see what we have now. Okay. So we can now decide to give padding, right? I know you guys can actually do this one. This is actually okay, but then you have to give padding up and bottom because these things are too close to the shadow top. Then we may actually have to like give margin between this card and this card also. So, well, let's see how we can fix that one ourselves. All right, and then this one we forgot to actually add responsiveness to this last week. So we are going to do that just now. So let's go back to our main and go back to where we have the card. So remember we said column lattice for the first one. That's why it is responsive like this for the first one, but we forgot to add it to other ones. So let me just copy this and then use it for this one. Paste it. So on large screen, we want to have 3. That means we want to have 4. 3 divided by 12 is 4. That means we want to have 4 cards. On MD, we want to have 2. We want to have just 2 cards on a row on medium, that's tablet. While on small screen, which is mobile, we want to have 1 single card on a single row. Now let's save it and see what we have. Okay, so that's it. Now we have all the cards on a single row. So we can now choose to maybe give it a gap. What do they call it? Gutter. So you can choose to give gutter between the row. Here we can say gutter. I don't know if there's gutter Y. Let me see if there's gutter Y. Let me save it. I'm not sure if that's available. Okay, let me go to Bootstrap and check what how they actually fix their gutter. Okay, GY. Sorry. All right, so that's it. So we can actually do the same thing for this one. Remember, we target the parent to have space between the gutter. So we can do the same thing also for this one too. Just pass gutter, then that will give us space between this and this. So let's see if we can just do that once and for all. Okay.
Yeah, hello, simple. So, please, if you are speaking, we can't hear you.
No, I'm not. I'm not speaking.
Oh, okay, okay, all right.
All right, so that's that about well, you guys can fix this one yourself. And then this one, the navigation that we did, we don't have to like start having edit on it anymore since we are using Bootstrap. So it gives us the navigation automatically. Sorry, the drop down responsiveness of our nav. So now after doing this, do you have any question? Do we have any question before we move to the next part?
Put your output like increase it. No, like exit the inspect page first. This arrows here, this tick supposed to be aligned here.
Okay. Well, I think it's actually this
Padding.
item. No, it's not padding. It's actually list item issue. So let me see if I can. I think that automatically they provide a padding. It's we are using the Bootstrap, so they automatically provide padding as part of their list item. So let's see if we can just say P0. Let's see if it's going to work. Let me see. No, it doesn't. So let me check and see where we can fix that. Okay, so this is it. Okay, each of the list item is actually having a padding. Each of the list item is taking a padding like this. All right, so I will just target the list item and then remove the padding from the list item instead of targeting the UL itself. So that's what I will do. So the list item is 0. This one also is 0. And then the last one is 0. So let's see. Okay, so we are good. All right, is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all.
Okay. All right, so now we want to go to the next thing, which is the swiper. No, okay. Yeah, we are going to be taking ourselves through this testimonial section, and then we explain how we can actually use swiper and how to integrate it on our page. Although swiper requires a little bit of JavaScript code, we are going to also, well, you don't have to write it. You don't have to know how to write it. You just have to copy it and use it on your page. So first thing you need to do, like I said, swiper. We just go to swiper.js. That's the library for swiper. Swiper, SWIPERJS. Okay. So let's check it out. Okay, so this is it. The swiper.js.com. Click on it. And then we can see different types of swiper that we can actually use. Still loading.
Sir.
Can hear you.
You know that this swiper has effect. It's also on Bootstrap.
The swiper effect. And the carousel is on Bootstrap. Okay. I was thinking, we are moving forward actually. Okay, let me ask Femi Blaze, would you prefer to go with this swiper.js or would you pick Bootstrap carousel?
Well, I would say since it's because we are using Boost, why don't you just use the carousel inside Bootstrap? So it's just instead of trying to use another library outside it. So
Okay.
they know that basically what they are using is all around Bootstrap, but they can still have idea of this swiper.js.
Okay. All right, that's better. Thank you. Okay, all right. Since this one actually they call it carousel. So in case maybe in case you're looking for swiper and then you can't find it, you can actually call it slider, or you call it carousel. On Bootstrap, they call it carousel. So instead of I was thinking we could just use the swiper.js. The swiper.js is actually provides additional styling and additional attributes and features. So, but let's just focus on Bootstrap and use the Bootstrap carousel. So how do we get the Bootstrap carousel? Let's go back to your Bootstrap and then search for carousel. This is the spelling Carousel. Just how it works. Click on it, and then you can just go through it and read. The carousel is a slideshow for cycling through a series of content built with CSS to read the transform and all of that. So we are not really interested in the theory. Now this is a demo of how the carousel works. In this case, we only have one item at a time on the first screen, and then when you click, it slides to the second screen, as you can see. So let's look for where they have more than one. This one does have a pagination, right? This is a navigation. Why this is pagination? That means, okay, the first page, second page, and third page. If you click on it, it goes to the second page, and then the second, third slide, or whatever they call it. While this one doesn't have a pagination, it's just only with the navigation there. So what we are looking for is the one that can provide more than one for us. This has a pagination, navigation, and also another content in addition with the current slide, the content that we had initially. So let's see, this is another effect which provides a fade effect. The initial one was slide effect. This one is fade effect, carousel fade effect. So autoplaying, I think the autoplay is just, it's actually slides by itself. Automatically slides by itself. So let's see how it does that. I'm waiting for it to slide. Autoplaying carousel. Yeah. It's not actually autoplaying. I don't know why it is not autoplaying. It's autoplaying. So let's just, the one I'm looking for is one I can provide more than one, although it may have to do with the number of all right. So let's just focus on the first one. Let's see the styling again, the design. So from this design, we have a card here, and then we have an image, and then we have a text, right? So we have it like this, and then we also have 1, 2, 3. That means we have like 5 contents here, and then we have a pagination, but we don't have a navigation. So, and then as you can see, the carousel is actually automatic. So let's see if we can actually use Bootstrap carousel to achieve it. Okay, it's auto-playing actually. So we are going to use both auto-playing carousel, and we are going to use the slider, and then we are going to use this one because this provides the card, the first, second slide, and then provides additional content. So we're going to use this one, and also we're going to use, since it actually provides a navigation, a pagination also. So what do? Let's just copy the first one first. Let's copy this one first. Go back to our page, and then let's create a section. Let's call it what they call it, testimonials. Testimonials. All right, and then let's paste this here. Okay, let me save it. So you have now.
Hello, boss. Sorry, please. Is this carousel from Bootstrap? Because I think I lost you for some minutes.
Yeah, it's from Bootstrap. It's Bootstrap carousel.
Bootstrap carousel. So we are no longer using the one you said.
We are not using the swiper yet.
Swiper.
No, we are not.
We are no longer using swiper yet.
Yes.
Is it the same thing? Is carousel and swiper the same thing?
It's the same thing, provide the same features for a different library. Yeah, but different library. Swiper.js is a different library. What carousel is Bootstrap library? This particular one is Bootstrap library. So it's although they will give you the same thing, but then it provides different. It's from a different library. That's just what I want to say. And then the configuration may actually be different also. Wow, with Swiper.js, we need some JavaScript content, which I believe this one also we want to provide some JavaScript content, which I don't. I'm trying to figure out where the JavaScript content can actually be included. You understand? But if you know how to use Swiper.js, you can use it. And if you know how to use carousel, you can use it. As far as you have your slider or you have your carousel working fine. So that's it. Is that okay? Okay, which one? Okay, this one. So we have the carousel extension option, carousel slide. carousel indicator. Come now, I have to read this thing a little bit. So the carousel, blah blah blah. For performance reason, carousel must be manually initialized using the carousel constructor method. Without initialization, some of the events now, specifically the events needed third swipe will not register until a user actively activated a control or indicator. All right. The only exception are autoplay carousel with the database right carousel attribute. These are initialized automatically on page load. If you are using autoplay carousel with data, we don't expect. Let's talk. All right. Let's see this. Let me open this in a new tab. So we have to like manually initialize carousel because of the function. Okay, so you can create a carousel instance with the carousel instructor and pass on any additional option. For example, to manualize all of this stuff. Okay, come in. This is easy. Okay, so let's try this first. First thing we have to do is to create a JavaScript file and then copy this, copy some of these things inside the JavaScript file. So a swiper is actually an animated instance, right? Where it swipes from one place to another, and it just swipe, and it definitely should be JavaScript. So that's where JavaScript comes in, where interactions is important. Swiping, the clicking on the next next navigation, and it's going to go to the next page or the next slider. Everything actually are functions of the JavaScript. So we can't specifically get all of these functions without integrating or manually initializing JavaScript functions in our code. So that's what they talked about earlier. That for you to be able to get all of these functions, then you have to manually integrate or initialize those codes inside JavaScript, your web, your VS Code or whatever. So now to do that, you can create a carousel instance, the carousel constructor, and pass any additional options. For example, to manually initialize the open carousel. Assume you're using all of this. I'm interested in all of that. So now let's do it this way. Let me just copy this. Okay. I've actually not used this library before, so as I have to read and understand what the library is all about before just jumping onto it. Okay, let's try. Let's start first. Let's create a JavaScript file. Let's say carousel.js. Okay, now let's paste this. Let's see. Let's save. Let me see if we can actually fix it properly, and then I'll explain how I was able to fix it. This is really, really complicated. This is totally complicated. I'm not. Yes.
Is it for it to be moving on its own?
Well, not that actually. It's just to get the swiper available first on the screen. So that's the concern right now. Let me go back to my index. This is the first button, second button, third button.
If we copy the swiper code from the component and insert cards in them, it will work.
Okay. Let me look for an image. Just give me a minute. Let me try something digital. So, yeah, image digital. Okay. Let me look for an image. This is kind of like too big. We already have what we actually need. We have the main swiper. We have the bigger one, as you can see here. Although this is just one from what they provided. So we have the bigger picture. I'll look for the pictures so we can actually use it properly. Or I can just create a simple card. But let's just see how it works first on this one. So okay, yeah, that's better. Let me look for the icon. Sorry, the pictures. I'll explain what's doing, or appreciate if we can just be patient for now. Okay, let's just start all over again. Let's take it one step at a time. First thing we need to do is to create this, right? The H1, and then we'll create this P just like we did for the first one. So we're going to create H, call testimony, and create this and call the P. So let's do that first before we even jump to the carousel. So I'm going to cut this out. All right, dot section like this, and then we're going to create another one, py, just like we did the other time. All right, so we call this class, give it py also, py5, and then inside this place we want our age, which we take testimonials, and then p, which will also take the content. So I don't know the contents, but I don't want to go. Okay, all right, then after that we now go to the carousel side, and we said we want this, and then we want like 5 different items in the carousel. So the first thing we need to do is to create a row and then put all of this inside the row. Create a row, and then we give each column, this is 5. So we can actually say, how do we divide 12 into 5? You can just say, so let's just use 2, 2, 2, because if you use 3, okay, it has to be 3 on a row. So it has to be like 4, 4, 4. Since 4, 4, 4 will give us 12. So this is what we do. Create columns. Let's do it this way. Dot row, right? And then we have dot column. All right. Then we have column large 4. Okay. I need to do this one first. Okay. So I'm going to do it this way. Column large 4. Although I have to create more than 4. Since it's 5, I have to create everything. Yeah, that's what I believe. Let's create the whole 5. 1, 2. But with the help of our carousel, Bootstrap, just 3 is going to be showing at a time. Just 3 is going to be showing at a time. So I don't really keep thinking of how to fix that part, but let's just focus on each of the cards for now. So here we have column large for everything. Let me comment this so we don't have errors. Now inside here we have our card. Okay. So inside the card we are going to have top, and then an image, and then a text. So let's see how we can fix this one first. Dot top. Card title, sorry. Let's just use card title. Or card title. All right. So inside the card title, we're going to copy this text inside a quote. Allow me inbox. Okay, let's just use lorem p and then lorem, or let's use a quote. I think there is a quote. There's a q tag, which you can now use lorem. Okay, so let's save that. And then secondly, after doing that, we want this image and then we want this guy. So let me just copy this image first. Open image. Okay, save image as desktop, Bootstrap project, plus Bootstrap images, and then I'll call it 1. Okay, testimonial. Let's just call it 5. Test 5. Okay, so I leave that, close it, come back to this guy also, open in a new page. Do the same thing for that one also. We call it test 5. Save image as test 2. It should be test 2. All right. Right click on this one also. No. Right click, open image in new tab. I like to open a new tab actually to get the best quality of it. So save image as, then we say test 3. Okay, close it. Then let's go to math. Open image in new tab. Save image as test 4. And then the last one. So Goodman. Okay. Save image as test 1. Okay. So yeah, we have the text. Then the next thing is the image, and then this one, and then this one. So let's just use cardbody for this one, although you can still decide to use it however you want to use it. But let's just use cardbody, and inside the cardbody, we are going to have the image, and then the Sarah Wilson, and then designer. So let's do .cardbody. All right, so we have image, okay, and then under the image we have H3. That's the name, Sarah Wilson. Okay, and then we have the last one, which is the title, designer. Okay, so this is the first one. Let me look for image, and then test 1. Save. Let's see what we have now. All right, so we have the content, which is the code. We have the image, and then we have what we're taking Sarah Williams for this one, but that doesn't even matter. So we are going to target the image first, give it a border radius, a border rounded, right? Number 1, we are going to change the font size, the width and the height, sorry. And then we're going to change it to a rounded full. So we're going to centralize the text also. So let's focus on this, say class here. Rounded. Well, I can't really remember rounded for. I can't really remember Bootstrap rounded full. So let me just confirm that. Why? Radius, border radius. Okay. Let's what is the radius? Radius. All right, so this is it. Rounded circle. Okay. Rounded circle. All right, so I'm going to reduce the size. W, let me use 50, height 50. Let's see what we have now. Okay, this may be too big still, so let's just use 25 and height 25. So let's see what we have now. Okay, I think this is better. Yeah, this is quite okay. But let's not forget that our testimonial should be inside a text. It should be inside, sorry, it should be inside a container. So I'm going to do that, saying container. Then I will target the P5. Yeah, no, not this container small. So give this text center. Let me copy the P. Let me copy this. Yep. Okay, so here we are going to have text center also. This will take text secondary. Since the color is something like ash, why this will take primary, secondary text color. Let's save it. And let's see what we have now. Okay, so now let's see how we can actually make this look better. From the design, we have this. This is having a card. Well, I'm not sure we're able to do this angle right now, but let's just focus on this. This is having a card, okay? And then the card is having a background color of a very light blue, right? And then it's having a padding also, padding left, right, bottom, and top. So let's see what we can do about that. The P, yeah, this card title. So let's give it. Someone is trying to talk. Feel free to say anything, please.
So that triangle, you can actually do it. The first thing is cardboard.
Primary. Okay, continue. Just continue talking.
The first thing is the cardboard. You be the triangle. So it will be as if the box and the triangle be the same color. It will be as if they are linked. They will not have space. Don't know if you understand.
Continue. I can hear you. Continue.
That's all.
Okay, you're saying that we should just create a box here, right?
Yes, a triangle.
Okay. And then we'll fix it just at this position, right?
Yes, it will be on that.
Okay. And then we'll use positioning to fix it, right?
Probably just display center.
Center, okay. That's better. Oh, Allah. I'll look into that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me say rounded MD. Trying to remember what's the rounded top and bottom.
Rounded circle.
No, not circle. Okay, rounded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm trying to target right now is this. I'm not saying, David is not saying anything. So this is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to target this. So I already created a card, right? All right, this card now I gave it a background color, and then I want to give it a border, which is going to like give us a little bit of rounded, not just a very sharp edge like this. We need something that will just give us a little bit of rounded. So that's going to give us like rounded, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So depending on how much the rounded is, you can actually choose between 1 to 5, however you want to be. So now we have rounded here. When you use ordinary rounded, then it's going to give you a very default rounded. Okay. So but then let's say we want to use rounded 3. Now let's save it. Let's see what we have now. Okay, so we have a rounded, but then from the design, this text is actually located at the center. So we have to look for a way to place text at the center of the card. So let's say text center. Let's see how it's going to look like. Okay, so that's okay. We're able to get the text to the center. Now we need padding top, bottom, and left and right. So we're going to have a little space around the card. We can actually fix this one using an icon and this one using an icon, but I don't want to get into those ones today. So as well as this one that just actually told us how to maybe go about that, but I'm not sure we're going to be going to that. What we want to focus on is how to get the swiper ready and then how to fix, which I'm not really seeing the possibility of us going to this one today. But then for now, if we can get the swiper ready, and then we all understand how to integrate swiper or maybe carousel in our page, I think they're good to do. for today. So let's focus on this card, and I want this class to be interactive, like I said. Okay, so what's the next thing for us to do now? I think that's what I did last week. What's the next thing for us to do? Since we already have this card now, and we need padding top, bottom, left, and right. How can we achieve this?
Just use P.
I use what?
Just P.
P. Okay, that would be P what, sir?
Let's say 3 or so. 3. Let's try 3.
Let's start. Okay, thank you.
And sir,
Is that Augustine?
Oh, it's Donatus.
Okay, Donatus. All right. Okay. Someone is trying to say something about wrapping.
Yeah, wrap it in the container so it will align.
Which one is that? You mean this or this?
The whole card.
The whole
Everything.
card. Well, we may not need a card. We may not need a container. We can actually focus on this card and then make it to align. By aligning, you mean it should.
Look at the end of the start of the first card. It's following like the whole alignment from the top. Don't know if you understand.
Okay, that means we have a container that is taking
Yes.
container small. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On the row.
Okay, we don't need to do all of those. Let's see. Since we have a container for, this is the testimony, right? And then this is the, okay, I see now. We don't need to do that. We can just pass container small here.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now let's save it. And then you should have that behavior. Okay. And now, this is not taking the container small as expected. So that means, like you said, I think that's what you are saying, that we should wrap the roll in a container. And then
Just give it container.
let's just wrap the container. Like, okay, let's place our roll inside the container. Copy this dot container small. Because we have been using container small, so I would prefer that we just go with the container small. Now let's save it. Then let's see what we have now. Okay, we are good to go. All right, Donatus. So what next? What's next for us to do now? We already have this. What we need to do is just to change the color, which let's just forget about that for now. Now the image and this are supposed to be centralized, and this is what I have. So what do we do to centralize this image here and this one and this one here? So what do we do? What do we target from our code? What do we target? We have to like look for a way to make this and this, you know, this, we can give them a flex.
Let's target the. Okay.
Continue. Say what you want to say.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, Mutiu.
Okay, let's target the column LG for the text center. Let's give the text center.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what next? What next?
Okay, let's.
Do you think we should target this, or we should target the card?
Yes. I don't know which div is holding.
Okay, the card is actually the one holding this guy and this guy. The card is inside a column. Okay. So I think we should focus on the card. Abi, what do you say?
Okay.
So we should give text center, right?
Yeah. Card. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what we have. Oh, fine, interesting. I think this solves the whole problem. All right. So, but then this is what we have currently. Our card does not really have a border. So we have to remove the card. All right. And then we need small space. I think the space is even okay. So we have to first of all remove the border, and then we copy the same thing like repeatedly. When we can now decide to change the image and then the content later. So first thing first, let's try and get this. We have to remove the border, right? And then we have to get the background image. So let's inspect. Sorry, background color. What should that be? Okay, yeah. Now let's see the background color of this guy. This is it, right? Let's copy it. Copy. All right, so I'm going to give it, instead of BG primary, with Tailwind, there's a way to just, so let's give it BG carousel. Let's just call it like this, BG carousel color, or carousel BG color. That would make more sense. Carousel BG color. Okay, so we go to our styling. Then we go to where we have the colors. So let's say dot carousel BG color, right? And then we have background color, paste this one, and then let's see. So let's see what we have now. Okay, so this is what we have now. Now let's remove the border. What do we do to remove the border? We don't need this border line around it. So what do we do? How do we fix that?
Border 0.
Where exactly are we targeting the border 0? Card, okay. Border 0. Let's see. Okay, so we are good. I think there's still something that we are missing actually. There's something we are missing. What is that? Okay, the quotes. Well, let's see if we can, let's just make a research on our own. Okay, I can just make a suggestion. This is a span, this is a span. All right, so you can just put a span here, put a span here, and then increase this one, put it in a span. This one also put in a span, and then increase the size. That's all. Let's see. Let me remove this in the code. Put it P.
Yeah. You can even just put it like that.
Like how?
Like inside the P tag, put the I
Yes.
tag there without the span to work.
Okay, perhaps. Let's look for that icon.
Boxicon.
What's the icon? What do you call it?
Boxicons. You have to go. You gotta copy their CDN again.
No. God forbid.
The CDN is already in this file already because we did it last week.
The box icon is actually a different. Remember last week we were actually having issue with one particular page like that. I think we're having issue with this one. Yeah, we changed it with the sizes of these guys. Or I don't know, maybe it's size or something. So that's why he suggested that this is box icon. But let's just focus on the Bootstrap one. So what should we look for? I think code. Maybe when we look for code. Okay, yeah, this is it. They're giving us just one side and not the other side.
Yes, that's why I think that's why they use Boxicons.
I don't want to use Boxicon. Too much of library.
I prefer font.
Someone is saying something
because
you say what?
Like, can't we
if we
invert
go
it?
to font awesome, we can only do like going to font awesome.
Yeah. Okay, you say we should use font awesome.
Yes, because we can actually get one of that and rotate it. Like we do the maybe 180 rotate, then we get the second one.
Okay. I think we can do that with Bootstrap also. We can rotate on Bootstrap. We can win.
The Boxicons, you have the two there.
You want us to go for Boxicon? My own is we are not using another library. We have been using Bootstrap and then we are going to keep using Bootstrap. So whichever thing they give us, that's what we're going to use. Let's not use Boxicon. Although they use Boxicon. Yeah, you guys can actually, if you can do that, I won't stop you from doing that. Maybe your task or anything. Use any library as much as you're able to achieve what you want to achieve. So you can use font also, Boxicon or whatever. So let me see if we can rotate. But me, I want us to maintain this guy. Aspect ratio. Can we rotate here? Oh no, I'm not sure we can rotate.
What if I just send the CDN for you?
I don't want. Thank you. All right, so let's not just even stress ourselves on that one, sir. Let's do some. Okay, or we could actually use one. Right, let me just focus on using one. Let me use one of the codes. Is that the correct spelling?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so what do they call it? Quote, right?
Mm.
Okay, so they have left and right. Is that why they are forming? Is it because of this one they are now forming? I don't understand. So let's go to the usage. All right, so we should have the seed. Okay, here is it, right? Here's the CDN. So let's copy. Is there any CSS? Do you have any CSS CDN?
Yes.
Okay,
Got it.
this one. All right. Let's just focus on this. Okay, so let's go to the header. You know, I really do not want to use that guy. Box icon. Box icon. So let's paste it. Do they use JavaScript? Do they use any scripts?
No, no, no.
Okay, just the web content. All right. Okay, so let me go back. Click on the box icon. Then see what we have. Focus on this first. Copy this. Okay, copy it. That's the HTML, right?
Font. Go to font.
Okay. This. Now let's look for it. Is this where we were? Yep. Okay. So yeah, and then that should be right. I don't have to copy it again. Quote alt left, quote alt right. Okay. So let me change this to right. Now let's save it. See if we are going to have what we need to have. George, you can talk if you want to talk.
Okay. I just want to know where the card is wrapped at, where the last div of the card. Is it wrapped to all of it, or is it just wrapped? I just want to know where the card, just where does the card end?
Okay,
card
the card is
itself.
actually taking the whole content. The card is inside the column and is the one taking the whole content. That's why we have to pass text center to the card so that every item inside the card can be centralized, and then we
Well, so the card is taking all the columns, general.
No,
See.
the
That's what
row
I'm asking.
is taking the column. Row is the one that will take column. Then the column will decide, okay, what's the width that I want to get. Now here is it. This is the row, right? So inside the row we have column, and since our row is going to take 4 or 3 items inside it, then we have to pass column large 4. So column large 4 will mean it is dividing the screen by 3, right? By 3. That's 3, right? Yeah, and then each of it will now take a width of 4. Do you understand? Now here is it. For now, we are still targeting 1. We are focused on 1. We want to get the first column. Okay, then when we are done with that, we'll now copy that in and place it 3 times so that we can use it. And then, although for now we are still doing the UI, we have not actually integrated the carousel part. We have not done that. When we are done with all of this, we will now find a way to integrate the carousel part. Is that okay?
No, it's not. I'm just asking if the card is just covering just the text and the image. That's just what I want to know. That's the card itself.
Okay. If I get you right, the card is covering the text. This is the text, and this is the image. Like that's the card. The card is inside a column, a single column, and then it is taking. These are everything is the children. All the contents we have for a particular column is the content, is the children of the card.
Okay.
Like everything is the card is like the next thing to the column. Do you understand? Now every other thing that we have, the text, the quote, and everything is actually inside the card. How about that? Is that okay now?
Yes.
This way you are sounding like this. If it's not okay, just
It's
talk.
because I'm sounding like that because I have doubts. Because I'm basically
Okay.
like my image is out of my card, so just doesn't
See,
make any
this is it.
sense
This
to
is
me
it. You're
somehow.
getting it wrong. We have card title, and then we have card body. We have card, although you can name it however you want to name it. Some persons will have card body first, and then card subtitle. Just those ones are just normal naming convention. So for what we have here, we have card, right? And then inside the card, we have card title, which is taking the quote, that part that we have the quote. And then under it, we have card body, which is taking the image, right? And the Sarah, that's the title and the subtitle. So that's just the two things. So the card body and the card title are both inside the card. We have column large 4. Inside column large 4, we have card. Now the card is the one that is taking two children, which is the card title and then the card body. All right. So and then the card is now taking text center so that both content inside the card title and content inside the card body is going to be centralized. So that's how we were able to achieve this image and this one being at the center. Do you understand? Is that clear now? Don't have
Okay.
doubt. Maybe when you just check your code again, maybe you must have passed the wrong something. Just check it again to see what you're missing. All right. So Obashisan, please, I won't be able to do this triangle that you're talking about. There's no time. Okay, so now we have our icon, right? Then we can target the eye itself, and then maybe we can just change the size. Can change the size, FS, let's say FS3, and then text or whatever. Let me use text primary, for example. So we can use this to change the size of the icon. Let's see it now. So you can decide the color yourself. Do the same thing for the second one. So now the next thing, having done that, we now copy this column. I want to copy this column 3 times. I don't want to be repeating myself again. Let me just copy the column 3 times. Okay. Or let's copy it 3 times. Should we copy it 3 times? Let's go to the Bootstrap first and see the carousel. Let's study this carousel. Yeah, let's study this one. Let's study this one. Where is it? Okay, so yeah. Is there any other better one?
Yeah, the one in the demo is automatic. Yeah, this one autoplay carousel without conflict. No, this one you just pass.
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm looking for the one that has pagination because our code does have a pagination. So that's the concern. But we only need to copy something from that auto and use it inside the one that has pagination. That's just how it's going to work. We are going to use this one because this one is having a pagination, right? And then we'll go down to the one with autoplay, right? And then we'll copy the command that is actually making it to autoplay and we'll pass it to the one with the pagination. So that's just the idea.
Vice versa. Like if you have
Or you
done
you can also do it by copying the one with autoplay and then copy pagination and then paste it there. So either way, but then first, let's see how we can actually integrate the design that we currently have inside the carousel. So here we have a div, we have carousel inner, and then we have item carousel, which takes image. That means this carousel item is what will take our row. All right, that carousel item is what will take our column. Sorry, but we have 3 items, right? So inside this carousel item active, we want to have 3 things at a time. We want to have 3 images at a time. So we can pass our row here. I'm coming. Let me just see how it's going to work. So this one is W100. W100, that means it's taking the full screen, the entire screen, right? So, but here we are going to pass our row and then pass, no, we're going to pass each of the column, right? Column 444 inside this place. This is really confusing. I'm coming. Does anyone have a suggestion? If you have done it before, we have image which is taking 100, but then we want 3 items at the same time. Okay, from the design, let's check the design again.
sir.
So we have Continue, just talk.
The carousel. I would need
Yeah.
you to go to the code that can
I didn't get that.
from here now, where we have that image,
Okay.
we are going to copy that code from the row.
Okay,
The
okay.
carousel item now is acting as the entire div.
Okay.
That carousel item is the first page, like the first page. Now the row will now distribute 3 pages, 3 boxes inside the first page. I don't know if you
Inside
get.
the first page, okay.
Yes. So where we have that D block W100 now, we are going to
Yeah,
give
to
it
show.
that we are going to paste now. Understand?
Okay, we're going to give the hidden to other ones, Abby.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's see how it works. Let me copy this. All right. So this should be after coming. Yeah, let's focus on this. Inside the container small, since we want inside the container, so let me paste this. I believe they don't have a container already as their own.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have it. All right. So now we'll now go down and copy our row like this. Let me just cut it out. Paste it inside the first image. We're not using image right now. So this is what we need. Paste it here. Now let's save it. So I'm coming. Let me remove some stuff that we don't need. Let's see. So now inside our image, let's copy this column. Make it how many? 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
So let's close it up. Close this. Close this. Okay.
Now that
Now let's save it.
the
So
D block.
let me remove this. I don't need this. Oh,
No, we
I
need the D
can,
block and the width.
you can easily. What do you say?
We need the D block and the width. So copy it first.
I can easily pass those ones again.
Okay.
Come here. Can easily pass the D block and the width again. But that's just a long process. It's a very, very long process. So I'm to copy my row, right?
Yes, copy it again.
That's a very long process. I would have loved to use Wiper.js instead. Come in. So we're going to pass hidden to the sum that we did not need actually at a particular time. So let me just close this one also. So currently we have 3 after saving it now. So let's see if all we have is going to work fine. So we have this and then it's going to swipe. Let's wait for it to swipe. Okay, but now what we need to do is that we have to add more 2 to it. Since we have 5, right? Since we have 5, this row we have to add more 2 to it. And then we'll now make those ones hidden at a particular instance. In the first instance, we are going to hide the last 2. In the second instance, we are going to hide the next 2. Something like that, since we want 3 at a particular time. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. So let's go on. Let's have this, and then this. So then we add 1 more. And then, oops, I don't even need it here at all. No, I don't think I need it this way. Okay. Let me just do this first. Let's change the content and see so we can know what exactly we are dealing with. This should be text 2. Then this should be text 3. All right. Text 3. This should be text 3. Okay, sorry. Text 3.
Okay, so we have this, and this. Now the next swipe, we don't want to have this again. We want to have just this and this. That means that next swipe is going to take text 2, 3, and 4. All right. Then the next one will now take text 4, 5, and 6. That's not the best way to do this thing. That's why I don't really enjoy this Bootstrap, but still it's going to work fine for us. So let's see the next one, which is the row. We take text 2. I'm not really satisfied with this thing. Satisfied with the behavior. 4. Let's save it. This thing is costing so much. Okay, so let's wait for it to swipe, see if the function is working fine. Why is it taking forever? Okay, so now we have this, and this. Then the next one should not show this anymore. Instead, it should the last one. I'm not really satisfied with the behavior. The last one should take 3. I think there's a better way of achieving this thing. 4, 5. There's definitely a better way of achieving this thing. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's see if we can get the pagination. Let's go and look for the pagination. You guys can figure out how to like fix other stuff on your own. So let me look for how they fix the pagination here. Okay, so we have pagination here. Let's see. What's the span for pagination? First lines, some responsiveness. Second slide, some responsiveness. Third slide, some responsiveness. And then next icon figures. Okay, the pagination is the indicator. Okay, so let's see. Where did they have the indicator? Just below, before the inner. Okay, let's see what we have now. Not getting the indicators. We have slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. Okay. Are we still together? Indicator, slide 1, slide
Yes.
2, 3. Okay. Okay, I'll see. I don't really know why this indicator is not showing. I expect it to show, but I'll see how I can actually just I believe you fixed it before. What could be were you able to fix the indicator?
In the demo, there's no indicator now. It's the pagination that is there.
Yeah, the pagination is the indicator. Is this not the indicator?
No.
What is the pagination located?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was talking about the button controlness. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, that's it.
that's the indicator, but then I'm not getting the indicator. The indicator is not showing. Okay, I think it's because of the background. Yeah,
Yes, it's
I think it's
showing.
because of the background. Let me see if we can change the background. Let's just see for now.
You can give
Let's
the
see.
pagination a different background, change to black.
Yeah, let's just see. Carousel indicator. Let's see if it's going to show now. It is black. Okay, so we have it. Oh, that's not too nice. Let me see.
Sir, give the button the background color.
Focus on each of it. Let's say the background color they're using the design. Okay, so they use primary as the BG and then outline for all of this one. So you can style each of the button one by one. Let's give it a class. I don't know if it's going to override it actually, but let's see. Primary. Active. If it is active, then it should take this. Okay, active, and then primary BG color, right? This one is not active, and should take as an outline. That's primary BTN color. And then this also class. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's just try it. Primary BTN color. So let's save it. Okay. So we are going to have another one since it's actually 5. Let's copy it. Slide 4, slide 5. This is going to cause a really, really big trouble. Oh.
People, so I don't understand though.
Who is that? Don't worry, we will see. I'm actually, like I said, I've not used this library before. I've not used the carousel before, so the whole stuff is actually really confusing to me. I'm just trying to use wrap my head around it. But don't worry, you understand. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry, you get to understand. This thing is really, really confusing also. Let me remove this for now. I'll see how I can make that one better actually. I'll see if I can make it better. Okay. All right, so here is the thing. Let's just come back again. Let's come back. So what we are trying to achieve is a carousel. Initially, I was actually saying that okay, let's go with Swiper.js, but then I think since we actually focused on Bootstrap, then we can actually use everything from Bootstrap instead of trying to use another library. So then we decided to use Bootstrap Carousel. Then how do we use Bootstrap Carousel? The first thing we need to do is, okay, we go to Bootstrap and search for Carousel. So when you search for Carousel, you're going to see Carousel, how it works. So when you click on it, you can read all of these things and some of them, and then you now come down. This is the first example, right, of a carousel. But because the design, the carousel is actually automatic. It's actually flipping automatic. It slides automatically, not like we have to click on something before it slides, all right? So that's why we have to go down and look for the one that has automatic, auto slide. So where is it? So here is auto playing carousel. So we decided to just copy this one, copy this auto playing carousel, and then use it inside our code. All right. So this is how it works. Let me remove this guy. After copying it, right? I just copied it and pasted it somewhere first. We've not used it. I just copied it and pasted it somewhere. But then I decided to, okay, since we want to have each of these items, each of this content inside the carousel, then the first thing we have to do is to find a way to design this one first. And that's what we did initially by creating a row. That's what we did here. If you check the where is the row? Carousel inner. Yeah. So we created a row. That's the first thing, and we created a column inside the row. Since this carousel is going to be taking 4 items at a time, okay, 4 items. 3 items at a time. 1, 2, 3. So we are going to divide this one and this one and this one into 3 using the 4. We're going to divide it by 12. Divide each of these by 12, and that means this will take 4. This will take 4, and this will take 4. Since we already know that from year to year is actually from year to year is taking 12 weeks, but then we need 3 items at a time. That means it's going to be taking what? It's going to be taking 4. So now we have row, and then each of the row, inside the row we have a column large 4 for the first one, and column large 4 for the second one, and column large 4 for the third one. Now after doing that, we now focus on one column, right? Focus on one column. Who's that? Let me see the person. Okay, so we focused on a single column to design. Let's complete the design on a single column first. Then when we are done with that column, we can now replicate, copy what we did and paste it in other ones, right? So we don't have to just keep styling the 4 or the 3 at the same time. So that's what we did by, okay, creating a card. That's the first thing. Inside our card, we have a card title, which is taking this quote. That card title is taking this quote. Understand? So now the card title is now having a separate color. So the card title is taking a separate color. That's why we have to inspect and then get the color out of it, and then we now use the color. We use the color inside. We assign the color to Carousel BG color in our style. Okay, we assign it to this from here. Check your styling, Carousel BG color. So after assigning it, we now call that BG color inside our card title because we want this. This is the card title. So we need the background color here. So after doing that, we gave rounded so that we can have the rounded features. As you can see, the edges are not sharp. It's a little bit rounded. And we have type of rounded. We have ordinary rounded. We have rounded 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just the amount of rounded that you want. That's just how the number is. The higher the number, the higher the rounded. And then also the text center. That means we want this text to be at the center. The text to be at the center. So we did this way. So, but if you check the text, it's having a quote to the left and a quote to the right. Okay. So initially I used quote. Q is actually for quote. But then in that case, Q is a tag for quote, for quotation. But in that case, we won't be able to style our quote to make it bigger because it's just a normal text. But then we want it to be bigger. So we have to just return back to P, paragraph, and then go to use a different library, Boxicon. That's the library that we use to get this icon. When we try to use Bootstrap, Bootstrap provides only this one, but they did not provide the second one. But then we need both this left and this right. So we have to go to Boxicon by going to boxicon.com, right? This is boxicon.com. Let me do that again in case we. So when you click on just boxicons.com, then it's going to bring you to this website. So all you have to do is to just come down and then or look for your icon first. See if they have the icon that you're looking for. That icon is quote, C-O-U-T-E, right? So this shows that, okay, they have both left and then the right. But before you can use it, you need to get the CDN, like we always do. Remember, we need to get the CDN. So we go to usage. This one does not have docs. I said earlier that we have to look for the docs, but in this case, they use usage instead of documentation. So go to usage, how to use this icon. So now we are not having, when you're working with React or other JavaScript library, that's when you need to use this npm. But in this case, we are only using HTML. So we look for the one that uses HTML. This is web components. You're not interested. What we are interested for is, okay, using the font. Okay, usage as a font. That's what we want to use it for. All right, now they said import the CSS. Copy paste the style sheet link into your head to load our CSS. So we decided to copy this like this to the last one and then paste it inside the head of our HTML page. We actually do box icon, that's a comment, and then inside the box icon we paste the link. Then having done that, you can now go back. So they show you how to use it. Use the eye since it is the icon you're looking for. Now go back to the icon. Just go back to box icon like this, and then search for your icon again, quotes. All right, click on it like this. Then it's going to show the icon here. But then we are not using web component. We want to use font. So you click on font, and then you can now click on copy this. When you click on it, it's going to show copy. That means you've copied it. So go back to your page. Then where we have the tag, the code. So we paste the icon here, all right, and then we paste the other icon here. This one is the left, while this one is the right. Box quote alt left, and then box quote alt right, which gives us this behavior that we have. This one and this one. But why is this one not to the left? Is because, well, perhaps maybe we have to reduce the size or do something of the text so that this is going to finally arrange to the left. So we're going to do that. And then why is this one not taking this color? Is because I did not style it separately. Let me just do that. I gave this font size 3 and then text primary. So I'm just going to copy it and then paste it here. Then you can say class fs. Okay, let's just save it. All right. I mean, I have to copy it for everything. That's too much work. Okay, since as you can see now we have the same styling. Just you have to reduce the font size of this one so that you can have this by this side, or however you want to fix it. Just fix it anyhow. So then we're able to achieve this one, and then we targeted the card title, and then we passed P3. That means padding. I need padding top, padding left, bottom, and then right. So that's how we're able to achieve this. But I think I should just reduce the size of this, of the carousel. Let me see how I can. Sorry, of the title. Let's see their own. Okay, this is italic, and then the size is actually small. So let's see if we can pass italic here. What's Bootstrap italics? Let me go and look for it. Bootstrap italics. Bootstrap italics, font weight and italics. Where is the italics? Okay, so this is the italics. Okay, FST italic. Wow. FST italic. So let's save it. All right, so we have the italic behavior here. So now, after doing that, we are done with this, okay? For now, we have not done anything on the carousel. We are only trying to design each of the items first, the content first. So then after doing that, we have to go to the page again, to the design page, and then get the images out, just the way you guys know how to get image online. Right-click on this, open in a new tab, right? Check it, and then right-click on the image and save inside your image folder. Inside your image folder where you have your project. After saving, okay, then I created another card body. This is the card title, right? This is the card title for the title, while this is the card body for the image and the name of the image and then the title. So we have card body. Inside the card body, we have the image. Then we call the image, the first image. We gave it a rounded because this is rounded. Without the rounded, let's remove the rounded first. So you see what happens. Let's save this like this first. See, it is normal. Although we have to reduce the size also to W25. That's width 25 and height 25, which gives us this. But then we have to make it rounded. All right. So that's how we passed rounded cycle. That's how That means I need this item to be a circle from. That means be rounded and give me a circle shape. So after saving it, it's going to give us a circle shape like this. Then the title, which is the text, H1, H3, and then the P, which is the designer under it. So that is how we're able to achieve one of the carousel, just one item inside the carousel. Then after doing that, we now copy this same thing 3 times or 2 times. Just copy the column large 4, copy 1, 2, and 3. And remember, our carousel will actually slide like this. Let's go back to the carousel and see how it slides. Okay, you can see it slides one at a time. And from our own design, we have 3 at a time. This is it, one at a time. But from our own design, we have 3 at a time. Okay. So since this is showing one at a time, that means we have to target the item. This is it. Carousel item, right? That's one item at a time. That's the item of the carousel. But in our own case, we want to make it 3 at a time. It shouldn't be 1 at a time. Okay. So in that case, we copy the row that we did. We just copy this code first, and then paste it here. After pasting it, okay, we now copy that row that we built earlier. That row that we built that displays 3 items at a time. Like this row, the row that displays this one without the carousel. Just copy the entire row and paste it inside the carousel item. Instead of having this image here, which is going to be just 1, we now copy that row and paste it inside the carousel item. You understand? And remember that our row is taking 3 items at a time. Automatically, or let's say by default. So since this is seeing it as 1 at a time, no, role is actually a div and it's inside the carousel item. But that role is now taking 3 different items, which is column large 4, column large 4, and column large 4. So that's how we're able to achieve this, which is giving us 3 items at a time in the row, just 3 items at a time in a particular row. Now, after doing that, we want this thing to slide. And how does the carousel work? That means, okay, after this one slides, then it goes to the next one, which will now slide also. Then goes to the next one, which will now slide. That means, okay, after we have our 3 items here, we need the same item here also, and then the same item here also. The same item that we have here, the 3 items that we have, we copy the same thing, paste it here also, and then copy the same thing, paste it here also. Do you understand? Now, after doing that, we need to change the images for each of these carousel. If you check the design here, we have this, and this at a time. That's 3 at a time. When it slides, we now have this, and this. Although the way this one is sliding is only showing, it's just displaying 1 at a time, which we don't know how to figure that out yet, right? But for now, what we're able to do is to slide out everything and then replace the entire with a different one. Okay. So, but then we need to change the images. That's what we did here. If you check this column row, we have this row like this inside this carousel item, and then we have column large, and then we have the image 1. If you go to the other one, we have 2, and then the third one, yeah, we have image 3. That's the first carousel. That's the first item, which is 1, 2, and 3. Now, when it slides, when it's supposed to go to the second carousel item, we now copy the same thing, which is the second carousel item, copy the same thing from the first one and paste it here. But something changed. What changed is that we don't want to show the first item anymore. You know, it already slides. That means this fourth item is hidden right now. So we will now start the second carousel item from 2, 3, and 4. So that's what we did. 2, that's the first one. Check the second one. 3, that's the second one. And then 4, that's the third one. Okay, that's the second carousel. That's okay. That means when you slide from the first time, this is what you show us. When you slide on the second time, show us another thing, but without saying without this one. That means this will be the first one at that time. This will be the second one, and the one that will be coming will be the third one. Okay. And then the last one is now starting from 3. Last one is not starting from 3, 4, and then 5. So that's just how we were able to. And remember, your carousel item should be inside the carousel item. Each of the items like this, let me show you again. Every of whatever that will show at the time, whatever item that you want to show at a particular time should be located inside the carousel item. Whatever item you want, even if it is 6, if it is 5 items you want to show at the time, everything should be located inside this carousel item. And then when you have 6 items on a row showing at the time, that means you want those items to be inside a row. Okay, you want all of these items to be inside a row. And then you now place it inside that row with your column large. Column 6, column 2, column large, whatever it is that you want to use. Okay, and then the second one, column item, the second set of items that will be showing in the next slide, that will be what will be here. So in the case where you want about, let's say 10 slides, you want this thing to slide 10 times, then you have to just copy this and then replace it to make it. This is just 1, 2, and 3. So I want it to slide 10 times. Just do it, copy it and paste, copy it and paste to give you 10. Okay. So, and in this case here we have this button is for navigation. Sorry, it's for navigation for next and previous. But because they gave visually hidden, that means they don't want it to show for now. We don't want that icon to show because from our from our one page, there's no pagination or navigation. There's no navigation. So if you check the one that has navigation, where is it? Area hidden through and coming. The one that doesn't, that's what I'm looking for.
Sorry. So simple. So
yeah, I'm with you. I can hear you.
Yes. You're trying to say that for each carousel item, like there's a general div or row that contains the 3 cards.
Yes.
Okay, so for each carousel items, we have the div row that contains the 3 cards. So for the next carousel item, we'll have the same thing, but it's not going to be 4, 5, 6, but instead it's going to be 2, 3, 4.
Well, it's going to be different items. You know, the first row, the item on the first row is different from the item on the second row. Do you understand? The item on the first row, like from what they have there, the item here is different from the item when it slides. Now, allow it to slide. See, now this is the new item on this second slide. This is the second carousel item, and this is the third carousel item. So as you can see, one image, one item, or one content, or one column is actually disappearing, while another one is coming in. So that's just the idea. This is just idea that we said, okay, let's say the first one is taking all of this now. Now the second one should now take all of this, but with different content. The next one should take everything, but with different content. It's just more of us trying to say, what if these items, this content are different, right? What if the content are different? We just have to say, okay, this set of our carousel, we take the first carousel item, while this sets, we take the second carousel item. I don't know if that's a little bit clear.
But how do you now add it? Like, my question, I don't know if it's silly, but if we have created the containers per row, that means we actually have to name the rows. Doesn't mean we have to name the rows. Doesn't mean we have to name each row.
If you have to name the row so that you can easily read your code, then it's fine. You can just do it like this. You can do it like this. Inside the carousel item, where's the carousel item? This is the first carousel item. Oh, sorry, that's the last one. This is the second one. Then this is the first one, carousel item, right? So inside this carousel item, we have the first row, which is now taking 4 contents, 4 columns. This is the first. We can just say, let's say first. That's a row. We can name it first. That's the first row. And then this is the second row inside the carousel item. You can say second. And then close that one and open the last carousel item. And then we can say third. Then we can say third. That means we have 3 different rows, right? But then each of these rows is inside each of the carousel item. That means when an item swipes or when it slides, the content inside our row at that particular time inside this carousel item is going to be what will be displayed at that particular time. And then the next slide will now jump to this one and displays everything we have inside the rows.
Okay, boss. So let me understand this. Step one, if we create all the item, all the content we want in the carousel, the first thing we have to do is create it back. After creating it, we hide it. Let's just say we comment it out. We create the carousel and then pick each and every item, each and every column, and pair the carousel, each and every row we want.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
each of
let's say item we creating.
Okay.
Sorry, okay. That means every item we have created here is more like a sample that we need to just keep. Do the carousel, copy, paste. And then copy what we want and paste.
Exactly. So imagine we have 5 different. Imagine we have 5 different type of these. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we created the whole 5, right, somewhere. And then after creating the carousel like this, we now study the carousel, the design, and see, okay, I think they have 1, 2, and 3 on the first row. Inside the first row, sorry. So you copy it from wherever you keep it and then paste it inside the first row, which is this, right? And then you go to the next one. I think this one is not in the next one, right? But we have this one and another one. So just copy this one, paste it inside the second carousel item, copy this one and copy the third one, which is inside the second one, and paste it inside the second carousel item, inside the row, don't forget. And then do the same thing for the last one. We are actually doing this because we have more than one item inside the carousel item, inside the row. As you can see, we have more than one item. In the case where we have just one, like their own carousel, they only have one item, just like this. So in that case, they don't really need to stress themselves. They just call the image, right? And then paste the item here, great. Since this one is just a single item. But in the case where the item is more than one, it is 3, right? And then it is on a row. That's why instead of using this image, we have to now copy the image out, cut it out, create a row first inside of it. You can even, to even make it better, you can even just copy this one first and then target your first carousel item. Then, okay, since our own is 3, that's 1, 2, 3 in a single row, cut this one out. Let me try it. Let's show us. Let's say, just as an example, this is the carousel after copying it. Okay, now our first carousel item is not 1, it's 3. But their own is 1. That's why they just call image directly. But our own is not 1, our own is 3. So how do we even do that? So cut this one out, then create your row. Since it is 3 items now on a single row, create your row inside that carousel item, right? Now we want 3 items to share the screen. Now they will take 4, 4, 4. Okay, so we say dot column large or column MD4, right? That's the first one. Paste your image inside it. If it's an image, paste it inside it. If it is other contents like the one we did, your card, paste it inside it. Now, that's the first one. Copy it again, paste it there, copy it again, paste it there. That means this is going to give us 3 at a time, 3 items at a time. Now, the second one, let's assume the second item, when the first one slides, the second one is not up to 3, the second one is 2. What do we need to do? Just do the same thing, cut this one out, dot row, right? Then dot column large or column MD6, since it's just 2 in this time. Now, paste this one, copy this, and paste it in. That means in the second slide, second screen, we are going to be having just 2 images. The first one will give us 3 images, while the second one will give us just 2 images. Okay, if it is more than 2, just divide this column by the number of items you have at a single row. Then it's going to give you what you need at that single row. And then this third one, let's assume the third one is just 1. If it is just 1 item, then you don't have to use your row or anything. Since it's just 1, just leave it like this, or you can just, if it is a card or whatever it is that you want to do, just put it here. So that's
Or
how
use
it's
12.
12. Or use 12. Thank you very much. Just use your column large 12 and then you have what you want to have. And then these ones are, this button is just for your previous and your next. The angle, that angle icon that you use in your previous and next, this one. So those are the button here. So if you remove it, these ones are not going to be there. In our own case, we don't have it in the design. In our own case, that's why if you check the autoplay that we used, where is the autoplay? Which autoplay did we use? This one, yeah. Okay, our own is actually not in the design, but if you check, I think it should be there. If the background is white, let me check the background first. See maybe what we are doing actually correct. I'm not really so much comfortable using this carousel, but you just have to use it. Let me give this a BG danger. Let's see. The button. Okay. I expect that button to show. This is hidden. Here hidden through that button carousel, visually hidden. I expect it to show. I don't know why it's not showing. It's supposed to show under it. Well, if we have any other question concerning how we were able to achieve this, please let's feel free to raise our hand. Like I said when we were starting this class is going to be a little bit confusing, I swear, because we are trying to use another person's JavaScript functions, right? And then, well, maybe after this class, you guys can still go on and check how the Swiper.js works. You can just go, it's very easy, it's very simple to understand. When you open it, just read through the documentation and ensure that you go for the one that is vanilla, it's just normal HTML, not React or other ones. Just go for one that's HTML and see. But I appreciate if we can try and understand this one also and use it for this particular one. Since we are using Bootstrap, let's focus everything that is same on Bootstrap. Next time when we move to other ones, we can actually start using other libraries to ourselves. So for now, let's see if we can understand how we can use this. Like I said, don't get twisted, don't be confused, right? You need a carousel. Come here and copy the carousel. After copying it, now go inside the carousel item and then decide, okay, let's say I'm working on a page, not a design. Maybe I'm working on a portfolio and I want to show my project one at a time. My project image one at a time. I don't have to do anything like row. Just copy the project. Just copy the image of your project and paste it here. Okay? And then this width 100 will give it 100. That means it's going to contain the entire screen, right? But then if you want to show two items at a time, then you have to like put it inside a row and then give each of the column MD6, column MD6. So that's just that about that. And this carousel item is the one that will be showing at a particular time. So now this second one is the next one after the slide. This is what we show the next slide. This is what we show the next one. That's the third one. If you want to slide more than 5 or more than 3 or 5 times, then you just copy this carousel item and paste it under and paste it under. So that's just the idea of, that's just the entire thing about the carousel. I will actually go through it very well again. So I don't know. I know most of us might be very confused right now, but I'll go through it very well again, and I'll make it simpler for us on Thursday. Although there will be tasks this week. There will be tasks this week. I don't know what the task will be about, but it should be maybe about media query or about Bootstrap. But trust me, even if it's going to be about Bootstrap, we will not be having carousel for now. We have carousel. So, but while you are trying to design it on your own, just if you have any concern, feel free to reach out again. And like I said, on Thursday, I will find a way to make it very simple for us and explain it better. So thank you very much, guys. Bootstrap.
Yes, sir.
You can-
I have something to say.
What do you say?
I have something to say
Okay,
concerning
okay,
that carousel. When
okay,
you
okay.
were talking, I said, let me go and try something.
Okay.
The I did it the first way you said that we should do for the button, then add the auto playing with,
Okay.
but it did not work.
Okay.
Then I think that it's not possible to have auto playing
And the
the
button
card
together.
at the same time on this carousel, but because when I inspected the page, they use swiper.
So you swipe up for their own ID.
They use swiper,
Okay.
but
Well, okay,
but
continue.
but if you use that's how you do it. Once the page is moving, it will display on that circle there. Understand? It will shift to the next circle. I don't know, but if you click on that circle, it's not going to have
Well,
any
like I
value.
said, I'll see if I can actually look into it myself before why they use swiper is because swiper has a better feature, and you get to control it yourself. You get to control swiper activity, the features yourself. You just tell swiper that okay, swiper, I want 3 items. I want it to show one at a time. I want it to show. That's why swiper just very very easy and simple, and that's why I believe they use swiper. But since we are using Bootstrap, and then we need to know about the carousel, let's just do the carousel, okay? And I will see how I can actually fix the podcast. I'll explain better to us if we find out. And if in case, I know we have courses around, George, and anybody who can actually go and look into it also, because the way gospel is saying, David, if you can look into it also, let's feel free to share whatever you able to next week or before then, if it's on the channel, feel free to share it to all on the channel. And then we'll actually
Yes, sir. If our tax is media query, so we can use Bootstrap.
no, you can.
Okay.
If it is media query, if it is stated that okay, using media query, Bootstrap is not media query. Bootstrap is stated like so. Sorry, framework. But when it is stated that use media query, please use media query. Media query is CSS media query. So let's not fall victim. Is that clear? So any other question, please? Any other question? George, you are mute. Sorry, you are mute. Do you have anything to say?
No. I'll just need the video so that I study it again. That's all.
All right. No worries. So who else? Are we all good? Are we good? Are we good? Mr. Akibobola, please. I don't know if you have anything else to tell us. So we are about to round off. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
no, I don't. Oh, I don't.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's meet again. The class, like I said, is going to be pretty. It's going to get better by Thursday. Don't worry. If you are confused,
Sorry, there's no task. Is there task today? Is there going to be task today? Sorry.
there will be task this week. There will be task for this week. And if there will be task for this week, definitely expect it today.
Okay. Thank you very much.
What's that?
I'm really like this bootstrap thing, although it looks simple, but then it looks complicated too, anyways. Yeah. And it's not easy on you being an instructor to explain all this word by word. So I really appreciate that one. And then this carousel thing, I still have to go back and check it because sincerely, I understand now, but I feel next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I forget.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Right. We will talk about it again. When we talk about it, it's going to stick. And trust me, after next week, I will maybe next week when we talk about the carousel, and then we'll talk about the masonry. I will actually introduce the swiper JS because that's the first micro. I will say that's the first swiper JS. Just know how to do that one, and then it's very good, very very simple. So let's just wait it out.
So are we having training this night?
No, there's no training this night. But if you guys want to organize any
Please,
training,
let's have, please.
it's serious. Okay, what should the training be about tonight?
We can
No, let's just do swipe and JS.
exactly. Swiper JS.